And we are live. This one is probably one of the most special episodes we have coming out of mtnDAO. We have a project here building cross-portfolio margining across Solana and really taking this idea of composability to the next level. So I'm not going to spend too much time on the intro here. We do have the entire Marginfi team here. It's growing pretty quickly. They actually just added a new member, Jojo, on sometime soon. So we're going to get into all of that, and we'll just start out with introductions. We'll start with you, Edgar.
Yeah, totally. So my name's Edgar. I'm the founder of Marginfi. Background, cross-finance and tech. I'm a math and finance geek in my heart. Spent some time in TradFi, decided that I was sick of it. Moved into tech for a while and ultimately into crypto.
Nice. We'll just keep going around this way so we can jump to you.
Cool. Yeah, I'm Anders. I'm head of community at Marginfi. Also came from a TradFi background, so was kind of hopping around private equity funds, growth equity funds, but found I was increasingly spending time at work looking at crypto. So just kind of decided I needed to drop out and go full time with it.
Awesome. Jacob, you can take this one.
I'm Jacob. I'm the first dev at Marginfi. Have a background in digital identity, a bit of a computer science nerd, and grew up increasingly obsessed with Solana and decided to make the jump. And Marginfi was the thing to join.
Yeah, that's awesome. Just to jump in here, for those who noticed, we got this mic set up here. We really got some engineering going, but we're finishing up with these introductions here, Mac.
Yeah, and also real quickly, we're also missing Cyril, who's in Singapore, so he would be the sixth person around.
There we go.
We almost flew him out. We were like, whole team or bust.
I'm Mac Brennan, head of growth here at Marginfi, and then just a funky background of managing a fund, growing a health tech company, consulting, advising, investing in Web3, and then going into DeFi. So super stoked to be on this team. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks, man. My name's Jojo. I'm the community lead at Marginfi. A lot of my background mostly is in creating communities in the equity space, and of course in the Web3 space. The last 2 or 3 years, me and my partner have been going really hard in these spaces, and I'm really excited to finally be with these guys and part of the Marginfi team.
So Joseph, we just flew him out. We officially kind of shook hands on basically a final offer today. So it's we're super excited, and we're dude, hop on a podcast with us. So,
Thank you guys for having me. That's amazing. I was even going to jump in here and going to say, amazing to meet you here, Jojo. This is obviously the first time we're meeting. Being in community, that's great. That's obviously the mojo we have going here with SolanaNews. But to really get into Marginfi here, I know I gave a brief introduction, but what is the overall thing you guys are doing and the goal behind it?
Yeah, totally. It's funny to talk about this last couple of weeks, right? Because composability has become the trend on CT. 2021, right? Explosion in DeFi, right? Especially across Solana. Tons of awesome financial products hitting the market, right? And financial products, they're like tools in the trader toolkit, right? Every new product, every innovative primitive allows traders to optimize their financial exposure a little better, right? The problem, as this explosion has gone on, right, has become fragmentation. It's hard for traders to manage their portfolio across all these disparate protocols, and their capital is fragmented, right? So Marginfi is really an attempt at building unifying trader-side infrastructure, right, to power portfolio composability, right, to help traders put together those better portfolios that they're dreaming of, right, and power their capital efficiency, right? At the end of the day, the reason you trade, the reason you invest is to put your capital to work. Capital efficiency is a measure of that, right? If you can't put your capital to work, you're fundamentally not succeeding at what you're trying to do, right? So we're trying to help the problem.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. And I think this is a good spot to jump in, also just lay out what the ecosystem looks like right now, how everything is fragmented. You can't have a single account across a lot of these platforms, which is not giving you the ability to get all the tools and products that maybe in traditional finance you're able to get. I think a cool stage to set here is just how big is there to grow in something like the derivatives market currently on Solana? I think the general narrative is that it's pretty small. So I don't know if any of you want to jump in here and just where the derivative market can go.
Yeah, well, I think if you look at TradFi, right, the derivatives market, if you look at the derivatives market and then just the spot equivalent, it's magnitudes greater. Like I think the derivatives market in TradFi is like 150 trillion or something like that. And like when all these fun narratives about like when markets crash or like when we have bubbles or any sort of like high growth or high recession areas, that usually involves derivatives. And so the really exciting thing is like we're just getting started on chain. And especially with Solana in particular, as like new primitives are more mature and more liquidity flows into the space, the opportunity to like create more custom derivatives and also just route more volume to these derivatives. Like we want to be at the forefront of that. And so that's just like kind of like high level and exciting like outlook at why this problem is like such an important one. And like all the optimizations that come with doing it on chain, and in a decentralized way. That's like something that really resonates with all of us.
Yeah, that's awesome. And really just jumping forward more towards this idea of composability, right? That's been literally the hot topic on Twitter for the past week. It couldn't have came any better. You guys have been dropping massively between the rebrand, the funding round, and really just moving forward now into racing towards DevNet, as Anders titled it in your guys' Medium blog. So I think it's great to just jump in here and lay out the landscape of what Solana's current DeFi Legos look like and how you guys are really looking to compose these things together. I mean, you have composability. Kyle Samani, this has been something he's been talking about for the past few months now at his summit. You also have composability Totally. You guys were playing into this as well. You see people like Zeta Markets. So I think it'd be great to really quantify and what is this composability? What are the options that we can see with current Legos?
Yeah, I think so. You saw kind of tail end of 2021, Solana ecosystem really blew up. Like with Solana Summer, there was like a lot of interest in it just as an L1 and as like a building ground, but there wasn't a lot you could do yet. So kind of throughout the fall and even right now, there's just a lot of primitives being built out. And so we're at a point where you can trade like options on chain, you can trade perps, there's plenty of spot markets, and you have all these things that exist kind of in a vacuum. And so now this year, it's about kind of orchestrating that and composing it together. And so I think we're seeing like glimpses of that with structured products plays like Katana and Tab and Friction. But those are obviously like you can do a covered call and that's like about it. And we want kind of a world where you can compose many more products and you can ideally compose like anything together. And so MarginFi is that like unifying layer that connects all these different primitives together and ultimately leads to capital efficiency.